He had enough gold to fill a room, but not enough heart to help his own son get married. The day his son finally walked out, he learned what gold can never buy back. William had built his fortune from nothing, a small trader who became a man of considerable wealth. But somewhere along the way, the counting of coins had replaced everything else in his life. Every evening he would lock himself in his study, run his fingers through bags of gold coins, and recount what he already knew by heart. The weight of his wealth was the only thing that made him feel safe. His son, Thomas, grew up, watching his father count gold more often than he watched him smile. "Father, can we go to the river this Friday?" Thomas would ask as a boy. "Maybe next week," William always said, eyes still on his ledger. There was always a next week that never came. When Thomas turned 22, he fell in love with a kind, hard-working woman from a modest family. He came to his father, nervous but hopeful, and asked for his blessing and for some help with the wedding expenses, just enough to start a small life together. William's hands tightened around the edge of his desk. "Weddings are expensive, Thomas. Prices keep rising. If I give away that much now, what will be left for emergencies?" "For your future, Father. This is my future, right now." "You don't understand money the way I do," William said, not unkindly, but firmly. "I'll help when the time is right." The time was never right. Not for the wedding. Not for the small house Thomas wanted to rent near his new job. Not even for the modest celebration his mother had quietly hoped for. Each time, William found a reason. A downturn coming, a debt to protect against, a better time just beyond the horizon. Thomas married anyway, with help from his wife's family, swallowing the quiet humiliation of his father's silence. He visited less. The visits grew shorter. Then, after a difficult conversation that ended with William once again refusing to help with a small business loan Thomas needed, his son packed his belongings and left for another city, taking his wife with him. "You'll come back when you need money," William called after him, more out of hurt than belief. "No, Father," Thomas said quietly at the door. "I'll come back when you need something other than money. I just don't know if that day will ever come for you." The house, once filled with the sound of footsteps and a wife's laughter in the kitchen, grew unbearably quiet. William's wife had passed years earlier, and now even Thomas's visits, rare as they'd become, stopped completely. Servants came and went, but no one filled a house meant for a family. William still counted his coins each evening. The gold remained exactly where it always had, untouched, ungrowing in any real sense, simply existing. He told himself this was security. But each night, walking through empty rooms that once held a son's laughter, the gold felt less like protection and more like a wall he had built around himself. Brick by careful brick, years passed. William grew older, slower, and the silence in his house became a sound of its own. One evening, sorting through an old chest, he found a small wooden boat Thomas had carved as a boy. Rough, imperfect, made with hands too young to know better. He had kept it locked away, the way he kept everything, but had never once looked at it with the attention he gave his ledgers. He sat on the floor of his study, an old man surrounded by bags of gold, holding a child's wooden toy, and finally understood something his coins had never been able to teach him. A full vault could not fill an empty house. The coins he had protected so fiercely had never once kept him warm, never once laughed with him, never once needed him to be anything more than a man who counted them. That same week, William did something he had never done in his life. He picked up the phone and called Thomas, not to discuss money, but simply to ask how he was. His voice shook more than he expected. Thomas was quiet for a long moment. Then he said softly, "I've been waiting a long time for this call, Father." It took time after that. Slow visits, careful conversations. A friendship rebuilt. where a father-son bond had once been buried under fear and gold. William never stopped being wealthy, but he learned, far too late for some of the years he'd lost, that the richest house is not the one with the fullest vault, but the one with people in it who still want to come home.